For 500 years, we were told the Amazon was empty. A green desert. Too wild, too poor, too hostile to ever hold a city. Then someone pointed a laser at the jungle. And the jungle answered. Hidden under the canopy, roads. Plazas. Pyramids of earth, laid out in straight lines by people who were supposedly never there. This is the story of the cities the rainforest swallowed, and the machine that just found them again. In 1542, a Spanish soldier named Francisco de Orellana became the first European to travel the whole length of the Amazon. He came back with a wild story. He said he had passed cities for miles along the riverbank. Roads. Crowds. Farmland stretching to the horizon. Nobody believed him. There was nothing out there but trees and a few scattered tribes. So Orellana went down in history as a liar, a man who saw what he wanted to see. For 4 centuries, that was the verdict. The Amazon could not build. The soil was too thin, the rivers too punishing. A counterfeit paradise. The problem is, the trees were hiding something. The tool that changed everything has a plain name. LIDAR. Light detection and ranging. Here is how it works. You fly a plane low over the forest, and from its belly a scanner fires hundreds of thousands of laser pulses every second, straight down. Most of them hit leaves. But a few slip through the gaps in the canopy, all the way to the ground, and bounce back. Measure how long each pulse takes to return, do it 1 billion times, and a computer can strip the forest away like a sheet pulled off furniture. What is left is the bare earth. Every bump, every ditch, every wall. For the first time, we could see the floor of the Amazon. And the floor was not flat. Start in eastern Ecuador, in a valley called the Upano, in the shadow of an active volcano. In 2024, a team led by the archaeologist Stephen Roston published what they found there, and it stopped the field cold. Buried under the green were more than 6,000 raised earthen platforms. Not random mounds. Rectangular, deliberate, arranged around open plazas. Houses once stood on them. Whole neighborhoods. And threading between them, dead straight roads, some of them 10 meters wide, running for miles in lines so precise they had to be surveyed. This was not a village. This was a planned landscape. A network of towns. Here is the part that rearranges your sense of history. The oldest of these settlements go back about 2,500 years. That means people were laying out streets and plazas in the Amazon around the same time Rome was still a small town on a hill. The Upano sites may have held tens of thousands of people, farming the river plain, connected by those long avenues. Roston spent decades being told the rainforest could not hold a society like this. He was looking at the proof. And Ecuador was only the first place the laser looked. Now go south, into the Bolivian Amazon, to a flat wetland called the Llanos de Mojos. In 2022, a team led by Heiko Prummers flew LIDAR over the trees here too. What came back looked almost impossible. Cones of earth rising as high as a 6-story building. Pyramids. Around them, raised causeways ran arrow straight across the floodplain for kilometers, linking settlements together, with canals and reservoirs to move and hold the water. The people who built it are called the Casarabe, and they were here for nearly 1,000 years. It was a city. Just one made of earth and water instead of stone. A garden city, hiding in plain sight. If this sounds too strange to trust, remember what the same machine did a few years earlier, a little farther north. In 2018, LIDAR swept the jungles of northern Guatemala, the old heartland of the Maya. In a single survey it revealed more than 60,000 structures that no one had ever mapped. Houses, fortifications, raised highways running between cities, all of it swallowed by forest. Overnight, the estimated population of the ancient Maya world jumped by millions. The method was not in question anymore. The laser does not imagine cities. It finds them. There is one more piece, and it is the strangest. The Amazon soil really is poor. Thin and acidic, just like the skeptic said. So how did so many people farm it? They did not farm the soil they were given. They built better soil. Scattered across the basin are patches of a rich black earth the locals call terra preta. Dark earth. It is loaded with charcoal, broken pottery, bone, and ash, and it stays fertile for centuries. It did not form by accident. People made it, on purpose, over generations. They were not living off the rainforest. They were engineering it. So where did they all go? The answer arrives in 1492. When Europeans reached the Americas, they brought smallpox, measles, and influenza with them. Diseases the people here had never met. The sickness ran ahead of the explorers, up the rivers, faster than any army. In the worst estimates, it killed 9 out of 10 people across the Americas within a century. The cities emptied. The farms went quiet. And the rainforest, patient as ever, moved back in. Within a few generations, the avenues were under roots, the plazas were under leaves, and the whole world simply forgot anyone had ever lived there. Which brings us back to one Spanish soldier and his story nobody believed. Orellana sailed the Amazon in 1542, just as the dying was beginning, and maybe before it had finished. He said he saw cities, roads, and crowds along the river. For 400 years we called him a liar. Now point a laser at the same riverbanks, and the structures are right about where he said they would be. So here is the question. Was Orellana a fantasist? Or was he one of the last outsiders to see the Amazon while its cities were still standing, and the only one who wrote it down? We are taught that wilderness is the absence of people. The Amazon is teaching us the opposite. For thousands of years it was a garden. Shaped and planted and crossed by roads, home to people who built in earth instead of stone, and who were so completely erased that we mistook their garden for the wild. The laser is only just getting started. Most of the basin has never been scanned. Whatever else is down there is still waiting. We will keep digging it up, right here. Until then, go look it up for yourself. The maps are real, the studies are public, and the cities are no longer a secret. I am August Vane. Watch the ground.